Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been a while since my last confession. I have a little bit of an update on my movie taste, okay? Been doing some reviews. Been going fairly well. But I'm kind of fooling my audience in a sense, right? Here's the thing. I'm a really big zombie fan. And I'm just going to come out right away and say it. I have never in my life seen Dawn of the Dead from 1978 by George A. Romero. I know it's blasphemy. I haven't seen The Walking Dead either, though. But it does not make me a zombie fan, you know? Oh, come on, Father. Oh, come on, Father, please. Please, Father, have mercy.
God has mercy. I don't.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to 31 Days of Horror. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. Dawn of the Dead from 1978. Probably the most classic zombie film ever made, even more so than Night of the Living Dead. I hear more people talk about this one. This inspired, of course, the Lucio Fulci Zombie, which in Europe is called Zombie 2 because it is the unofficial sequel to this. I've never seen this before. I'm the biggest zombie nerd ever, and this one has slipped by me. One of the biggest reasons, first of all, is because I've mentioned this before. When I was growing up, my parents were beyond strict with what I could see and what I couldn't see. I was not allowed to watch anything with an F word in it. Legit. Like, you know, it was PG-13 and under. Even when I was a teenager, I was raised very sheltered. And I missed a lot of films because of it. I missed a lot of films. This one always slipped by to the point where when I became a massive film fan in my 20s, I've always liked physical media more than streaming, but this one was really hard to find streaming, and with physical media even, like, it's out of print in a lot of editions. Like, the Blu-ray is extremely hard to find or massively expensive. Second Sight did put out that beautiful box set, but when it comes to international releases, I don't have a region-free player, and then you have to worry about the region-free stuff, and you have to get the right player to play the disc and everything, so it just gets really complicated. And even the DVD is tough, you know. Sometimes it's going for like 50 bucks, 60 bucks, sometimes 80 bucks, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. So it just, it always slipped away. I watched Night of the Living Dead, and it's my favorite horror film of all time. This one's competing now. Spoiler alert, this is 5 out of 5 stars. This is the best film of the month. This is the only 5 out of 5 of the month. Every other film, the highest scoring is 4. I didn't even have any 4.5s. So this one, and I don't even give 5 stars immediately to, it's rare that I do that. There's films that are timeless. There's films that it doesn't matter when you watch them, because a lot of people say, like, oh, if you didn't watch this as a kid, if you don't have the nostalgia for it, you're not going to appreciate it as an adult. Or, oh, damn, I watched this film at the wrong time. You know, I didn't grow up with this film, kind of thing. I hear that in the YouTube film world, or the film critic world and the film reviewer world all the time. If I grew up with this film, I would appreciate it more, which I can get behind. But when it comes to masterpieces of cinema, it really doesn't matter when you watch them because they just feel timeless. Goonies, I watched in my late 20s, I'm pretty sure. Of course I would have loved to see that as a kid, but I can watch that film and I can understand how it's the perfect family movie and probably one of the best family films ever made. I don't have to be 5 years old to notice that because The Goonies is just so timeless. It's a Wonderful Life came out in the 40s. Timeless. It's totally relevant today. You watch it and you can see that it's an old film because it's black and white and pretty much everybody in it is long gone now, but it doesn't, like, it's still so relevant, and it still feels so engaging. It's so engaging still, and you can watch it and you can appreciate it. You can appreciate it, sorry, as if it's 1945, because it's timeless, it's ageless, it doesn't go outdated, it doesn't outdate itself. And there's films like that, and when a film is perfect, it is timeless. Jurassic Park is another example that I can think of, although I did watch that one as a kid. But this is the exact same thing. I went into it, I knew it was going to be great, but I didn't think it was going to blow me away the way it did. This is a timeless film. This film is perfect. It's 1978, but I didn't have to grow up with this film to realize it's perfect. I didn't have to watch this from 8 years old up till now to be able to appreciate the masterpiece that this film is. I literally watched this for the first time tonight as I'm recording this video. And I'm watching it and I'm like, I know exactly what everybody is talking about. Everybody that grew up with this film, I know exactly what they're talking about. Would it have been nice to watch this when I was younger? Of course it would be. Did I have to watch this growing up to love it? No. I love it watching it for the first time at 36 years old. For the first time ever. Of course, I've seen clips here and there, but I've never seen this film in its entirety. I've only seen a few clips here and there on YouTube and stuff like that. I didn't have to watch it in the 90s when I grew up. I didn't have to be born in 1978 or 1980 and watch it when it was released. This is a film that you can see, you know, the history that it made. You can see the impact that it had in the horror world, that George A. Romero had on zombie fans, on horror fans, on gore hounds. Tom Savini doing the practical effects and showing up in the film as an actor. It's just beautiful. It's such a good piece of horror cinema. Like I keep saying, even though I watched it for the first time, it doesn't take away from anything for me. And there's only a handful of films that are like that are completely timeless, that do not age, and that are relevant for decades, if not centuries, maybe. We'll just have to wait a little bit to see if they stand the test of time like that. But some have. I mean, It's a Wonderful Life. Another 10 years, 20 years, that'll be 100 years old. You got lots of, Nosferatu is another one. Timeless. And this is another one. Like there's films that are just masterpieces, and you can tell they're masterpieces whenever you watch them. If you're 5, if you're 15, if you're 55. And you know, few are like that, but lots are like that. And one of my favorite examples, like I already mentioned, is The Goonies. I love The Goonies, and I watched it for the first time as an adult, and I felt like a kid watching it. So, and then there's other films that I watched as a kid, Toy Story, Jurassic Park, and I always think, you know, what if I did watch these films as an adult? Would I still love them and appreciate them as much as I do because I've been watching them for decades? Probably I would. You know, probably I would if I watched Jurassic Park for the very first time today, or Toy Story for the very first time today. You know, I probably would. Again, it's always nice growing up with movies and falling in love with them when you are young, because it does make for a different experience. But there are those timeless films that it does not matter when you watch them, because as a cinema fan, as a film fan, you just know that they're masterpieces and why they're masterpieces, and this one is one of them. Now, man, I'm getting into my experience with the film, but I'm not even talking about the film itself. Everybody knows the story of this one. You get these survivors who hide out in a mall. Ken Fourier's in this. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch, from Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And yeah, there's it opens up. I wasn't expecting this. It opens up with a news broadcast and these people working at a news or a TV anchor station, and of course, the outbreak is already happening. This is after Night of the Living Dead, so I found that cool how it opens up at a news broadcast station, and the everything's kind of like failing because the things are going off air. Everybody's confused. They don't really know what they're doing, and then it goes into a shootout with gang members, which was very, very random. It doesn't last long, but they start a shootout where it feels very Assault on Precinct 19 for a good 2 minutes. It's like, what the heck is going on? We're starting this way. And then you finally get the zombie stuff where you get the SWAT team that's infiltrating an apartment building, and you get like the greatest zombie effects. Like zombies are actually taking bite out of arms, and there's chunks coming out, and it's just such a good zombie movie. I mean, I wish I watched this sooner, but I'm glad I got to it. Better late than never. And like I said, it only takes one first watch to realize that this is a masterpiece if you love zombies. So this is in competition with Night of the Living Dead so far. Day of the Dead, it doesn't have that. I love it. I love Day of the Dead. And it's weird, again, like that I've watched Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, and the other three, Land, Diary, and Survival, but not this. It's just so strange. But yeah, Day of the Dead doesn't have that impact, that 10 out of 10 for me. It's probably a 9 out of 10, 9.5. But Night of the Living Dead is a masterpiece, and this one is a masterpiece. So I don't know which one's going to be my favorite. But I know my second favorite horror film, is A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. There are some things that I can nitpick about this film for sure, but they don't take away from the 5 stars. Like, the music choices are very goofy. You get a lot of like Last House on the Left by Wes Craven, dumb songs that don't go with anything, and they're just goofy and silly sounding. You get some interesting directing choices that are kind of goofy. It's funny too because I've seen Dawn of the Dead, the remake from 2004 by Zack Snyder, if I'm not mistaken. I watched the Dawn of the Dead remake. I haven't watched Dawn of the Dead, the original, until now. Dumb. I like how Ken Foley makes the cameo in that, and there's a scene in here where he talks about, or he mentions that he knows how to abort, and being that one of the women is pregnant, he gives her that offer. And in his cameo in the remake, he plays this priest or preacher who is like, the dead are walking the earth because you kill your unborn children. You have homosexual relations and stuff like that. So he's all right-winged. And then in this, but it's funny because then in this one, he's offering a woman an abortion. So I wonder if they did that on purpose or if that was just coincidence. Probably on purpose. His total motivation change. But anyway, and he's playing a different character in the 2004 one anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But just funny. It was a cool little nod. Anyways, I'm talking too much right now. Dawn of the Dead, just go watch it if you haven't. I mean, I think I'm the only one in the world, though, who hasn't seen Dawn of the Dead from 1978, so who am I kidding? That concludes 31 Days of Horror. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've seen all of them, thank you so much for supporting the channel and listening to me ramble. And I'm here to talk about horror films and my feelings towards them, so let me know what you thought of this spooky season and my selection of films. And I hope you are enjoying your spooky season. Happy Halloween. That's the end of October. Another spooky season, dead and gone. But we will be back next year. So spooky season is all year round. Us horror fans just go absolutely insane during October. That's really the only difference. But once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the channel. And let me know what you thought of the films that I've reviewed. Happy Halloween, guys. Thank you so much. Until next review, cheers.